Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It was back in the 2017 session. This body, General Assembly, passed Senate Bill 153 that started us on the path of performance-based funding for our public post-secondary institutions in Kentucky. We have made some changes over the years. Currently, part of that legislation set up a working group to review the model every 3 years and make recommendations to the General Assembly. I was actually on that working group in 2020, again in 2023, and we also met in 2024 due to legislation passed in last session for one specific issue. So I've been around that working group for a while, and what House Bill 276 will do, it will change the makeup of the working group. And you might ask, well, why do we need to change the makeup of the working group? We have some significant differences of opinion, particularly between our research universities and our comprehensive universities on the way the model should be going forward. I have seen those conversations. I have seen those tensions. So I sometimes, if you just shake things up a little bit, you can see some improvement. So with this bill, what we will do, we will have the president of the Council on Post-Secondary Education will be a non-voting member of the work group and serve as chair of that work group. We will have 9 additional non-voting members of the work group, which will consist of the 9 presidents of our, we have 8 public 4 years plus our community college system or their designee will serve as non-voting members. Why do I have them on there as non-voting members? One of the issues that I have noticed is the gentleman from McCracken all right? Or maybe it's the gentleman from Wayne. I don't know, Mr. Speaker. But regardless, the reason I've decided to do it in this manner is it's very difficult for these presidents to get together and try and work out a compromise because currently they make up a quorum of that work group. So if they got together ahead of time, they're going to be violating the open meeting laws. So it's my goal they can get together ahead of time, work this out, and come up with recommendations to a work group. The voting members of the work group would consist of 3 members from the Senate, appointed by the Senate President, 3 members from the House, appointed by the Speaker, the State Budget Director, and 1 additional appointment, the Governor or the Governor's designee. So those would be the voting members of the work group. Also, I would ask that the work group is currently not scheduled to meet until 2026. This bill would have the work group meet in 2025 and then every 2 years after that, because I believe it makes more sense for the work group to meet right prior to a budget session so that the recommendations they make would fall in line. Mr. Speaker, I'll be happy to entertain any questions, but this time I move for passage of House Bill 276 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1.